My next guest is currently signed with BKFC Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship. His next matchup will be in the main event of next Friday's April the 30th BKFC 17 main event matchup coming to you live from Birmingham, Alabama with BKFC 17, which you can catch on the BKFC TV app. Please welcome Mr. Dillon Cleckler. How you doing, Dylan?
Doing good, man. Appreciate you having me on.
Hey, thank you for your time, man. How you been?
Good, man. Just down here in Miami right now with my family, training, finishing up my training camp.
Yeah.
Um, Everything's been going good, smooth as can be.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome. Now you are two and zero in Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship, correct?
Yes, sir. I have a 3 fight contract. This is my third fight on my contract, and I'm a heavyweight bare knuckle boxer.
Awesome. Now, could you give the audience who may not know who you are, Dylan, a background as to who you are?
My name's Dylan Cleckler. I'm from Pensacola, Florida. Been doing MMA for about a little bit over 10 years. Just got into bare knuckle fighting probably a year ago.
Okay.
And yeah, did 2 fights already. Both of those a KO. I don't know how they scored them TKO KO, but there's a K and an O in there somewhere.
Yeah, there it is. There's it's a finish. There you go. So you finished all
Yeah,
three.
there's a finish.
Awesome, Dylan. Now,
Yeah,
so you're 2-0 in BKFC right now. You finished both of those fights now, but before that, you were a mixed martial artist, correct?
yeah. I did mixed martial arts MMA for coming up or coming up on 10 years. It's probably about 8 years. I took a little break in between. I had an injury. I had to heal up.
Okay.
Um, Plan on taking off about a year. In that year of me taking off to heal up, a wife and a baby later, it turned into 4 years. So
No,
my
no.
yeah, it time about pretty fast, but the injury healed up, which was the point, and I just got a little bit older.
Awesome. Yeah. A friend would once tell me that the days are long, but the years fly by really fast.
Oh man, add some kids to that, and it's times 10.
Definitely, Dylan. Now, so for you, so you're a BKFC fighter now. You're under that promotion right now. Now,
Yeah.
why did you make the leap from MMA to BKFC?
Well, it's a funny story. Me and my wife actually went and watched some of the early fights where they were doing them in Biloxi,
Okay.
and we saw one of them that was was a historical fight with Jason Knight,
Yes.
where he fought. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
was
Yeah.
a bloodbath. These two guys' face just looked like hamburger meat, just chewed up. And
Yeah.
I remember looking at my wife and saying, "Man, this I would never do this. This is crazy. Like, what
Yeah.
are they doing? Look at their faces." But then I dragged home and said, "Yeah, I'm a 3 fight deal with the bare knuckles, so I'm doing it." Yeah, I like I like the sport. The sport, it interests me. To me, right now, it's probably the hottest thing to watch. I've never
Definitely.
seen a boring fight. Even the ones that go the distance, man, they're just it's just a war. Um, I got into it at a young, young as far as a company wise, uh, and it was just something I felt like I'd be good at it because most of my MMA fights, they were pretty much stand up or ended by a KO. So I feel like I would transition good into it. And I've always wanted, I've always played with boxing. I've always trained boxing with my MMA stuff because heavyweights, they stay on their feet most of the time. There's not a lot of heavyweights that go to the ground,
No, definitely.
stuff like that. So most of my training was a lot of stand up kickboxing, boxing, kickboxing, stuff like that.
Definitely. Now, how was the preparation for your very first one? Coming in from like an MMA background, you did have a lot of stand-up matchups there, but how different did you have to change your game in a sense from training into a mixed martial arts fight to a bare knuckle matchup?
Well, obviously, a lot more boxing
Yeah.
technique. It's a weird sport that I don't think anyone has figured out exactly how to train for it. It's kind of like when UFC first came out, when MMA first got prime time. people didn't really know how to train for it. Like the early days of the UFC, where there was guys who did just ground, guys who were just wrestlers, guys who were just jujitsu, and they just went into it kind
Yeah.
of blind. I feel like that's kind of how you see guys that are coming there that are pure boxers,
Yeah.
and sometimes they do well, sometimes they lose, and then you have guys who come in there that are just pure aggression. You know, not much boxing, and sometimes they. But it's a fine mixture of aggression and boxing training
Yeah.
that kind of blends into the BKFC. It's kind of a weird mixture of the two of them that you got to have.
Now, for you now, so there's an obviously like the thing about like combat sports, it's an adjustment period, and it's also a lot of strategy. Like a lot, I know a lot of people that used to yeah, a lot of people used to think that bare knuckle fighting championship or just bare knuckle fighting was like barbaric and oh that's crazy or that's
Yeah,
real savage. And I think like to those people, you have to be very open minded, because it's just it's more than just two
yeah,
guys going in there and throwing hands. I mean, you have to be smart and properly prepared. We've seen different athletes that are great athletes in each sport try to do like a cross promotion or not or go across the sport and they struggle because it is just more than just throwing hands. Now, like for you, Dylan, so you finished your first matchup in BKFC 11 in the third round. Then Knucklemania, you were able to finish that fight with under 30 seconds in the first round. Was it easier in the sense going into your second bare knuckle fighting match than your first, as far as like an adjustment for you, or just kind of like did you already know what to mentally expect in your second matchup than your first one, that you were able to get through it a lot faster?
a lot went down in that first fight that I didn't put out there very much. But
Yeah.
in the first round of my very first fight, I tore my bicep.
Oh, okay.
So a lot of people didn't know that. So yeah, so it lasted to the third round because I had to figure out how I not to let my opponent. I wasn't that arm anymore
Yeah.
because I felt it when I did it, and I didn't know how bad it was until after the fight. But yeah, it was pretty significant. And that was during the pandemic. That was like mid-pandemic, so there wasn't a lot of places to train. I had yeah, it was. I had a buddy of mine he was just nobody's gonna be up here train as much as you want to. So I actually got a lot of training for that first fight, and it kept getting moved back, and moved back. So my training camp for that fight was probably 5 months because every month they were like, hey, we're doing it this month, and then we get moved back because the pandemic was a tricky situation because
It
a lot
was.
of places weren't letting anybody, yeah, they weren't letting anybody into their facilities, and they weren't renting them out. So uh tore my bicep. I kind of just I didn't really train for my first one. I did a lot of pad work. I didn't. So then I meet my coach, Orlando Cuellar. He is a Hall of Fame boxing trainer. He just got inducted this year. Well, he's going to be inducted this year. I think it was for last year. But he's a Hall of Fame boxing coach, and I got with him after my first fight in the BKFC, and you can tell with the way that the second fight went, it was very helpful to me to have that boxing coach, boxing instructor working with me in and out day to day, endless hours that we train for the second fight. So the first fight I just kind of winged it. I've been in a bunch of street fights, so I knew I could do that. I plan on it being a bloodbath. Just I don't you don't really know what to expect with it because you've never done it.
Yeah,
So
for sure.
the first fight I just kind of went in there and just won the fight. I did what I had to do to win the fight. The second fight, I was trained up. I was ready for whatever. I could have fought 20 rounds that night. Just it happened to be 24 seconds or whatever it was, which is fine by me. Also, like everybody, like every fighter likes a good fast win.
Yeah,
Um,
for sure.
most of the time, most of the time, the spectators don't like those, but fighters love those quick fights.
Yeah, it's funny. So when it comes to like bare knuckle fighting championship and just the BKFC sport there, my dad always tell me never judge anything by the first day. You're
Oh
trying to
no.
get whenever you go into a job, whenever you try a restaurant or food or just different kind of scenarios. You never judge anything by like your very first impression, even though people say
Yeah.
first impressions stand out a lot, but you never
Yeah.
do. So I can imagine going into a different kind of sport like that, what your first matchup would be like. So,
Oh yeah.
I mean, definitely not knowing what to expect, or how's the cardio thing much different from MMA for you, Dylan?
It's weird because when they first started doing it,
Yeah,
you could tell the guys were not training for cardio because
yeah,
it's 2 minute rounds. So they were, a lot of the beginning guys, you'd see them, they'd be gassing out after like the second or third round because
yeah,
that 2 minutes doesn't seem like a lot. If you do MMA, you're at least training for 3 minutes. Some are 5 minute rounds.
yeah,
So you could tell. I know a couple of people that were in the beginning stages. Chase Sherman, that were doing the fights in Biloxi. I follow a bunch of them. I train with most of them, and you could just tell like the way he looks when he does his UFC fights, and then the way he was looking when he was doing the bare knuckle. You could tell that they weren't training. They weren't really emphasizing the cardio. Uh, Not me, because I've been in those fights. I've had around 30 fights, MMA and bare knuckle, and I have ran out of gas before, which means your cardio dumps.
yeah.
The worst feeling you will ever have as a fighter is to not be able to breathe or move and know that you still have to go and finish this fight off, and this guy across from you is still ready, still coming. So I've done that before. I did that when I was an amateur, and I told myself I would never not be in shape for another fight. So I've always worked the cardio aspect of it, especially when I got down here in Miami and I got with my boxing coach. I've never ran more in my life than I have with this boxing training I've been doing. I didn't never ran for MMA. I did like workouts to get myself in cardio shape. I never actually did road work. Um, so a lot of my training completely changed for the BKFC.
De-
But
Definitely.
yeah, yeah,
Now, for you, Dylan, I think like the best way to describe you, and this is, I've done some research and seeing your two matchups there. I think like to me the best way as like as a fan, as somebody watching the sport, I think you're a finisher, man. You're a finisher. I've been going through like some of your like past fights here, even through the MMA, and I went through as far as like I can get results, and you've pretty much finished every single fight that you've ever
yeah,
competed in. Finish. What goes in your head when you're mentally preparing for the matchup that separates that from you, that makes you into that animal in that goes out there and finishes their fights like the way you do?
I've always trained, to be able to fight at least twice the round that I'm planning on doing in a fight.
Yeah,
But I mean, as a heavyweight, it doesn't take much. You just gotta land one or two good punches, no what sport, no matter if it's a glove involved or no glove. Um, so I guess, man, once I see that, once I touch somebody, once I see
yeah,
that I could end it, to me it was always, end it. You never know what could happen in the next couple seconds that we're in. It's a very humbling sport. If you're a cocky person in this sport, man, best of luck to you because you're a second away. You're a punch away. You're always a punch away.
mm,
Um, so I've always tried to end fights as fast as possible because you never know what that next round, that next minute, that next punch may do to you. So if I see an opportunity, I'd go in for it and try to get it over with.
yeah. Yeah. It was because I went through your matchups. I went all the way down to when you were 3-0 as a mixed martial artist, and it wouldn't like give me like any like results on there. But yeah, I mean, it has every single finish. So I told myself, wow, and like Dylan goes out there and he finishes people. And a lot of people say I'm gonna go out there and finish him, or I'm all about finishing fights,
I never
and sometimes they don't.
say that.
Yeah,
Never. Yeah,
but
I've
you,
never said that. I've never.
yeah, but you, I mean, the results speak for themselves here. And then you're looking at your track record with BKFC. You're 2-0 there. Now, let me shift to this. April 30th. It's gonna be Friday night, Birmingham, Alabama, BKFC 17. You're taking on Josh the Hammer Burns. It's a lot of people are calling this like a heavyweight title eliminator here. What can we expect from Dillon Cleckler going into that evening's matchup?
The same. I'm in great shape. I'm in I'm in better shape now than I think I've ever in my career. And I said that once I started training down south. The last fight I did, I was in
Yeah.
phenomenal shape. This camp I'm in, I was at camp. I'm going to be in great shape, and I'm going to, you don't, to me, you don't ever look for the knockout. The knockouts just kind of come like a home run swing of a baseball player. You don't go up to the plate expecting to hit a home run. You just go up there, you wait for a good pitch, and you take your best swing at it. Same way I've always approached you know combat sports. Uh, we're heavyweights, so it could end at any moment. I wouldn't go to the bathroom or get up and get drinks during this fight. Me and Josh Burns we're both highly ranked. I can't remember exactly what I think we're like 1 and 2. Who knows? Who cares? But it's going to be a good fight. They match us up, and BKFC always matches these great fights up. And I'm gonna go into this fight the same way I do every fight. Going to win. I'm going to looking for my pitch,
Okay.
so to say.
Yeah, no, no, it's a great way to it's definitely a great way to put that in context like that. Now, for you, Dylan, is there a specific goal that you have with BKFC or a goal that you have set for yourself for the year 2021? We're nearing towards near the halfway mark of the year. Is there any specific goal or thing you're looking forward to the most?
Um, definitely a title shot. Um, which the winner of this fight is supposed to be lined up for the title next time. I came into this sport, just the same way I came into MMA. I wasn't expecting to do anything in MMA. When I first got into it, I said I'll keep doing it until it ain't fun anymore.
Yeah.
Won a couple fights. I did 10 or so fights as an amateur. And then I said, if this keeps going, I'll just see how far it goes and see how far I go with it until it's just not fun to do anymore. That's
Yeah.
kind of the same way I am with everything I do. I played football my entire life, and when it became like more of a hassle to go train or to participate, I said, it's not worth it. It's not fun to me anymore. It's more like a job. So I enjoy it. I enjoy the training. I enjoy the chess match in the ring. I enjoy everything about the sport. So until it's no longer fun for me to train and to do these competitions, I'll do them and see how far I can go with it.
Yeah. Now, you said so. This is your third fight under your contract? Is this your last fight under this current contract that you have?
Yes, sir.
Okay, okay, okay. Awesome. Well, I mean, hopefully we see you back, and it's gonna be one hell of a main event. Josh Burns versus Dylan Cleckler. It's gonna be an amazing one. Anything that you'd like to say, Dylan, before we sign off?
Just tune in April 30th, man. It's like my man right here just said. It's going to be a war. They matched up two highly ranked heavyweights for this bout. So you don't always see two of the top ranked guys going at each other in the main event. So tune in if you want to jump on the bandwagon of the BKFC, this will be a great time to do it because it's going to be an exciting fight.
Yeah, it's gonna be nothing but fireworks. BKFC is the fastest growing sport that's going around now here, especially here in the U.S. Definitely can't wait to watch that. You can catch that April 30th live from Birmingham, Alabama, on the BKFC TV app. Thank you very much, Dylan, for joining me on the show today.
Thank you, man. It's a pleasure.
Awesome, and best of luck to you and to all the audience. Thank you for listening. I'll catch you later, guys. Goodbye.